when you don't feel like that type of energy, you attract that type of energy. And you don't realize energy is so huge in this world. Okay, here we are again on this fine Sunday afternoon.
Hello, hello.
Let me turn my comments on. Hello, hello.
I think that we have anyone in here yet, but of course we are always hopping on last minute. We promise that we'll figure out a regular schedule at some point, but both of us are kind of in the middle of where our work schedules are changing a little bit. So just trying to figure out exactly what we can commit to and still, participate in our families and all the other things. So we do look forward to having some scheduled times here soon.
Yeah, it's been kind of chaotic, We plan Mariana's gonna come see me. I'm leaving at 4 a.m. in the morning to jump on a flight with my son. So I just got off work. It's been kind of chaotic this week with planning everything. So yeah, we will definitely have a scheduled time, especially once our work schedules change and we know exactly where we're at in the week. But it is hard to mesh different time zones, our work schedules. Kiwi, hello. Welcome to Babes Breakdowns and Breakthroughs. Oh, he said, "Ooh, let that mic scratch me a little bit." Ooh.
Kiwi has an announcement.
Kiwi,
yes, I know.
He said, "Look at my booty. Look at my booty." Oh, sorry.
Come here. You just come sit in my lap. There.
Jeez. How'd your week go?
Good. It has been a little bit of a crazy. My work schedule gets really busy in December, and so it kind of finally slowed down from that. And then one of our surgeons is leaving to open a new clinic, and so we're down a surgeon, and so my work schedule is going to be changing a little bit. So it's just been a lot of changes. I'm excited to just have a set schedule again for a while. This kitty.
Yeah, lots of new changes. I feel like cats always are like that.
I know. They're like toddlers. The minute you get on the phone, they want to be right there. We've got Davey in here. Hello. Oh, sorry, Dee. Hey, girl.
Oh, you're good. Davey. I like that. Davey. Oh.
Here from After the Bars. Well, thank you for coming. Well, we're just here to see how everybody's doing this week. We want to check in. Dee, how was your week? What'd you do?
I don't know. It's chaotic. I've been like kind of waiting on my second job to do their grand opening, and I've been like kind of struggling with my old job that I've been at since they opened here in Vegas, and like I only work there 1 day a week right now, but it's very testy, dude. It really is. And I work literally 1 day a week, 8 hours. That's it. And it's my challenges with that. And it's everyone's like, oh, at least it's only 1 day. And I'm like, dude, you don't even understand the like, I just want to quit. I just want to be done with it. I cannot wait for my second job to open up, because the bar my second job that I'm at right now is opening up a second bar, and I cannot wait to be full-time under the same owner. But it's been a lot. It's been a lot trying to maintain and keep my composure with that,
Yeah, absolutely.
Vegas is insane. Oh yeah, Vegas was definitely a culture shock for me when I first moved here. I couldn't even fathom how people spoke and what is normalized here, because it is a big party town, and my first experience job searching was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. Kick him in the
Yeah.
shins. Please do, Davey. I would love to kick him in the shins too.
Some of the stories that you tell me about your experiences on the strip, though, are like insane. Insane. Oh God, remember that really drunk guy that you refused to serve and then he either said something or he threw a drink? How did that happen? What was that?
So we used to, it was still at Rosa's, and I'm on the strip, and it's a big bar, and so we host bar crawls, pool crawls, whatever. So it's where people come here and visit, and they pay to like basically go on a tour to different bars that the tourists pick out, right? Or the tour guide picks out.
Oh, okay.
And by the time they get to your bar, if you're not the first bar, they're hammered. They're hammered because they're getting cheap drinks. And on the strip, like the average drink price is 20 and up. Like you're not getting a cocktail for under $20. Like it's unless you know the spots, you know. And I had one guy and he came in and so it was about a party of 85 people. And they all come in at once. They're all hammered, and we have $5 drinks. And people start handing me $100 bills and paying for one drink. Okay, so I'm running out of change very quickly. And this guy hands me $100 bill, and I'm like, I don't know if I have change for this right now, but like, give me just a second. Let me see. So I go back to him, and I'm like, I do have change, but I do have to give you $20 in ones.
That's what it was. Which
shouldn't be a problem because you're going to multiple bars. It's why is that a big deal? And so he makes it a big deal, and I'm like, well, if you let me serve all my other customers, I'll bring you a 20, but just like let me take care of everybody at the bar. And he's like, well, I would tip you, but now I'm not going to tip you anything. But that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to tip me, baby. It's cool. Then he says, well, F you. And I'm like, well, that's showing some extreme signs of too intoxicated to be at my bar. So I took his drinks. I handed him a $5 bill out of my tip jar, and I said, you can get off my bar top.
Yeah.
You're not gonna call me out a name for something so silly, like no way. And then he called me the C word and spit at me.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude, my other bartender that was working with me, his name's Carrie. He's so sweet, but he just thinks he thinks that I'm crazy, you know, and I'm just not. I'm not that crazy, you know. But if you spit at me, I might get a little. I grabbed a bottle. I was ready to hit this guy over the head with it. I was so mad.
Yeah.
And I was like, somebody better get security right now. And Carrie's like, calm down, D, calm down. And he didn't realize what happened. You know what I mean? He just thinks I'm being like extra. And I'm like, hell no, somebody get him out of my bar. Like, this is not cool. And I go get security. And then he calls my manager the C word, tries to fight security. And then he puts his hand on security. So Metro ended up taking him to jail. And I'm like, God, wouldn't you, can you
all over $20 in ones?
Vacation? Yeah, but it's like, it's crazy how people come here and how they act. It really is. What we normalize here, and like, dude, bartenders, you saw the video I sent you last night with the gas station clerk?
Yeah.
These people now, bartenders in Vegas, we do make good money, but we do put up with a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But
for sure,
when we're talking about like gas stations, thrift stores, people that attract a certain clientele and they're making a minimum wage or maybe $15 an hour, dude, they put up with so much stuff for such little pay. I could not imagine doing that type of work for that amount of money and dealing with the people you deal with that are always ready to argue.
The other one that I always feel really bad for is like call centers. I know there's a lot of like just
Oh,
mean people in call centers. I will admit that, but like most people aren't calling a call center because they know what to do next. Like they're usually pissed off at that point. They've been through 5 other people, got forwarded 10 different times, have been on hold for an hour. Yeah, it would
I
take some real.
when I was sick, I worked at that call center, worked at home for a
Oh
little bit.
yeah.
And dude, how they would like teach you to rip people off, I just not my character. And like if you talked to me nice and
Oh.
told me your situation, oh, I would be altering payments and like
Mhm. I
like
remember you called me one time because you were like, there's this sweet old lady and like I just couldn't and I like brought her bill down to as low as possible.
oh yeah, I had this sweet little old man and he was so sweet. And I put his bill lower than I was averagely supposed to. But man, dude, people be struggling and these big companies just rip them off. But if you come on the phone and you're like, oh, you're incompetent, you're this and that, I'm all, sorry, can't hear you. Transferred.
I feel like people like that in customer service are the true heroes though. Like I mean, cuz there's some people will say that there's not a gray area, but there's almost always a gray area. You know what I mean? And that's where it's like no robot can replace a human interaction of hearing somebody's story and being able to help them in the ways you know how. You know, because they're and I don't know. I just feel like you can tell the difference between someone trying to scam you over stuff and someone trying to. It's almost like the internet training they teach you at jobs now, like with security training. They're like, you get a weird email that's like, if you don't download this file in 5 days, your company will get shut down. Like that create that sense of urgency.
Mhm.
You don't click on it, but yeah, there's a lot of people in customer service as well. Like especially in Montana, we just went to the thrift store the other day. Me and I have a friend that left an abusive relationship who I've been helping out over here, and we went to the thrift store just to get coffee and hang out the other day. And there was she's pregnant, and there's those little walkers for the babies. You put them in it, and they just like tootle around in it. It's got the rolly wheels.
Mhm.
They had one of those for $10, and then they had a little like play mat with the little thing that goes over it for 15. And she only could get one of them, and the gal had just had a baby, and she was like, no, you have to get this other one. Like I'll give you a discount, da da da. And she was like, she's like, I only have like I am spending as much as I have. And she was like, you know what, go get it. And she just let her get it and like just gave it to her and discounted everything. And like, I don't know. I just like, especially not from her perspective, she doesn't know this girl's whole story, but I do. And that was a win for her that day. You know what I mean? Like it was just really cool. And I really wanted to like, I wish I would have told her, like I did tell her thank you, but like that was just a really cool thing
Yeah,
for her
but
to
those
do.
small acts of kindness, and that's why I don't know. I do love like you can once you see those people and meet those people and like they do those type of things. Like I don't know because I just feel like there's so many people that we do reach and we don't even realize by just showing like simple acts of kindness too, and
Absolutely.
like the smallest things, like there's you smile at somebody and everybody has this like blank look on their face when they're shopping in this and hey, how you doing, like that little
Mhm.
thing could literally alter somebody's whole day, the rest of their week, like just by like that small little act of kindness, like
Yep.
and people don't even how do you not think about that, like
Right.
reach out and have human connection and human decency towards other people and have understanding of, dude, everybody's struggling right now. Our economy and our world is so high priced and dark, and everything we've normalized in our generation right now is so crazy. So when you do have those little bits of light and those little bits of act of kindness towards other people, like it really does, it changes people's days, weeks, years, months, whatever. It really does.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I've also like tried to make it a habit, especially the last, just like I would even say 3 or 4 years in the time that I've been building my spirituality and my relationship with my higher power and learning to trust my own intuition. Like I've made it a habit to where if I have someone just randomly pop in my mind and I'm like, oh, I wonder how they're doing, I will always reach out even and just send a text and be like, hey, I was just thinking about you, love you, miss you, and you never know. Sometimes that strikes up a conversation and they're like, oh my gosh, like, thank you so much. I really just needed to get that out. And it's like I had no idea everything that was going on, but it just like I feel like God will put that on your heart. And that's why I feel like those people pop in your mind. Not always that it's something bad either, but maybe that person's just in a bad part of the day of their day and they need a little pick me up. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's a little game I play with myself where just like if I think of it, I try and immediately
Do it.
reach out to that
Mhm.
person.
Yeah, absolutely. Even
I
when
just
you
feel like
like
it.
reach out to, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, I feel like it's life's too short. Like you will stand at someone's funeral and be like, I wish I would have. You know what I mean? And so I just feel like it's such a good practice to be in the mindset of the now.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I I feel like in this point of my life that I do have a lot of people that um vocalize the kindness I share and like the high words I speak to other people, like random people, like people that are
Mhm.
complete strangers to me. Even the other day I had somebody, what was it? I think it was just something as simple as, "Oh, you think I'm worth it or something?" I'm like, "Oh, you worth everything, baby." And they like just started glowing, and like just to speak positivity into people's lives and be that one person to just like be that high vibration and the positivity and like that one person they remember throughout the day because you spoke kindness and good words to them instead of was so monotone and regular
Right.
every day. People be so involved in their own world and whatever they have going on, but like to actually like broaden the spectrum and put that positivity into their day, like people
Yep.
remember that, dude. People come
Yep.
back and they're like, oh my gosh, like your energy, your vibration, like I just know like you mean it, and I do.
Yes.
Genuinely,
Yes.
every time I speak highly, I mean it. I mean
Yes.
it. Like, so sorry, I'm trying to get over this
Okay.
cough.
That's where it's like super important. And like I've learned this really, and I'm telling you guys, I'm coming up on 29 and I would never go through my 20s again if I had the choice. Like, oh my gosh, it's
Mm-mm.
so
Yeah,
horrible.
no.
It's so much
Fast
fun because
forward.
it's like you're learning who you are and what you stand on in this world and what's important to you. And like even for us in our 20s, we learned the kind of mothers we want to be, the kind of families we want to have, the kind of like life we want to lead. Like what are we here to do in this world? And it's beautiful in a lot of ways, but man, there's so much heartbreak and pain and just struggles too that it's just like, oh my goodness.
But don't you go back
Um,
on, like, those really dark days or, like, the times that you're having a really hard time or whatever, and, like, don't you remember those people that said, like, small things to you or, like, was, like, cheery in the drive-through or, and it,
yes.
like it just, like, strikes you because you walk around and people don't wanna say hi, people don't wanna interact with you, people don't wanna smile, people wanna just be,
That's another
like,
thing that makes
kinda
me.
shoulder
Oh,
check,
sorry.
"Oh, no, you're okay," but, like, yeah, like, they kinda just, like, push you aside, and then that one person is like, "Oh my gosh, how was your day? What do you do for work?" Like, and it's so cheery, and you're like, "Dang, you are, like, the happiest person I spoke to all day." And this is how everybody should interact with each other, you
Right.
know?
That's why I feel so awkward in big cities because in Montana, like I mean, we have cities. I live in Billings, which is the biggest city in Montana, but it's still very country out here. There's tons of land, there's lots of farmers, and like I grew up in Kalispell, and where I'm from, like when you drive past your neighbors, you wave. You know what I mean? So like when I'm going in, or like if I let somebody pass in the sidewalk at like the store, in the crosswalk thing, I wave. It's such a habit. Even sometimes I do it and then I feel awkward. I'm like, God, people don't do that here. But but it's like ingrained in me. I'm like, people don't do that all over, I don't feel like anymore. It's something that always makes me feel awkward.
Oh yeah, Montana's definitely different in that aspect. But you know what? Montana is like that. But I also feel like Montana is so opposed to change. And a lot of my experience in Montana is people judge very quickly. In the
Mhm.
city, yes, a lot of people are more fast paced or they're doing this and that. But if you're the one to, oh, hey, how's it going? People will interact with you. But
Yeah.
I got a lot in Montana, a lot of criticism before anybody ever even spoke to me. You
Yeah.
know, the way I dress, my hair, my piercings, my tattoos.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I did have a good handful of experiences where I'm like, holy cow, why are you jumping down my throat for no reason?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I feel like you get us lots of free drinks when we go out in Montana though. We're like sitting at, where was that old Chicago, and like they bring us like drinks and appetizers. I'm like, whoa, where'd this come from? They're like, oh, the manager just sent that over. I'm like, yes. It's like those
That's because I
pizza roll
spend a lot of
things.
money at Old Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good time.
Sorry.
All right. Well, thank you, Davey, for keeping the chat alive.
Yeah, Davey just be chatted up. Okay, Davey.
I'm
I
like,
lived in Utah. They were scared of me. Yeah. Yeah. It was always Costco for me.
oh, no.
Yeah, I had a love-hate relationship with Costco because every time I went into Costco, I had I had a lot of different interactions in Costco. One time I had Rowan and he was like,
I remember this.
oh my God. And I was with one of my homegirls and we were in there shopping for her baby shower. And Rowan started throwing a big fit, like throwing himself on the ground, screaming. And I picked him up. I put him in the car. I said, "You need to sit in the car right now." And he smacked me in the face when he was little. And I was like, "You better sit your little ass down, or I'm gonna take you out, and we're gonna have a problem." And this lady like turned around and looked at me, and she's like, "Oh, some mother you are." And I'm like, "Are you talking to me? Like, are you serious? Do you see how this kid is acting right now? Like, no way, Oh my gosh." And then we ended up having a screaming match in Costco. Then I go to the front and I'm like scanning my items. And if you have a Costco membership, Sam's Club membership, you know that they count every item when you walk out the door with your receipt. And I'm like checking out. And a girl that doesn't even work there comes up to me and she looks me up and down and she says, "Are you sure you scanned all of your items?" Are you serious? You're serious? Oh my God. I
I wish
did.
you would
I
have
had lots of
I wish you
interactions
would have
like
turned
that.
I wish you would have turned around to the first lady and said to her, like, looked at her and like, yeah, and if you don't shut the fuck up, you're next.
Uh-huh.
Sit
No, I
down.
looked at her. I
Shut your
said,
mouth.
"Well, if you're accusing me of stealing, I'm going to tell you right now that if you're looking me up and down for my tattoos cost more than your
Anything. You're
all year
probably.
pay. Okay, so don't even call me a thief and you don't know me because I am far from a thief, babes. Okay,
No.
hell no."
I feel like we get that, especially, with me and Sam and the age difference. And I mean, most people have seen Sam by the way. I mean, he's tatted from here down and then all of his arms. His legs, actually, that was the most shocking thing when we first got together and I saw him without his tall socks on and he had like not very many tattoos on his legs. I was like, wow, because everything else is so tattooed. But we get looks. We get looks often, I feel like, from people. Yeah. I mean, I never pay attention to it because I just don't care. I mean, whose business is it? You know what I mean? Like what do you have to do with your life if you're going to sit in Costco and judge me, sir? You know what I mean? Like
you just need to start calling him daddy in public.
Only if I wear like a dog collar too, though.
Okay, daddy. You want to look? I'll give you something to look at. I'll look you on all fours walking through the Costco, okay?
Yeah. I will embarrass you.
Because at a point in your life, like I used to care what people thought, how I looked, how I went out in public. Like, but at the end of the day, like when you realize what life is actually about and the people that in your corner are the only people that matter and what you see yourself as and who you are, and you can look in the mirror and believe in yourself and love yourself and the people that are around you, that's all that really matters. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's hard to come to, people want to say, oh, I don't care what anybody thinks, but you could tell they do. You know what I mean? Yep. By how they interact, how they speak when they get in front of different people, this and that, you know, but
well, I mean,
who cares what anybody else, until you know me and you sit down and have a real conversation with me, I don't give a shit what you think about me. You know what I mean?
Right. I think it was my uncle that always used to say to me, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one and they all stink. And I stand by that today. I'm like, seriously, because you know what? There was a long time, I feel like when that switch happened for me, when I started like really believing in myself was when like I grew up learning to lie about little stuff because it made my life easier. And not even about big stuff. I'm talking about stuff that would like, I don't know if anyone's ever been in an abusive relationship, whether that's like emotional, but how they act different behind closed doors. And you can tell when that emotional outburst is coming. So there's something small that you would rather just not say because it's going to cause like a way bigger thing. You know what I mean? So once I started like really taking accountability for my life and my choices and where I was sitting in my life, and it's like, I'm at a point in my life now where it's like, you can't throw anything in my face that I've done in my past and hurt my feelings with it anymore, because I know who I am. I know what I did and I've processed that. I've changed and I'm a different person today. You know what I mean? And so what? Now you just look like the asshole because everyone else already knew. You thought you were going to tell everyone something new. You know what I mean? Like there's just nothing that you can throw at me that I'm not accountable to already.
We just need to hand a QR code to our podcast. Go ahead. We dish it all out.
Yeah. Would you like some more ammo?
Yeah, seriously. Because I don't know. I feel like that's what I do love about you is we can all sit back and talk about maybe the stories that would shame other people, but I have no shame for who I am right now and who I am today. I know I'm a beautiful mother. You know, like,
yep.
I know I thrive on good intention. I have my whole life, but
yep.
Have I done dumb stuff? Have I done, but it's also like, I'm so grateful for the things that we've done and the dumb things we've done and being able to realize and being able to talk about it, because that is what gives me such a high understanding of everything that people go through. And like, it's what attracts the people that I do attract in my life today. And I couldn't say that a few years ago. I couldn't. I attracted very dark, hateful people. And that's because of what I was putting out, because I was still in those dark moments and I was still shameful of what I went through. And I was still shameful of who I used to be. And once I let go of that and really just stopped caring and like learned to appreciate who I have been and who I am now today, I just attract beautiful people. I do. I really do. The people that come into me, the the good conversations I have genuine quality conversations with people,
Right.
you know? And it's not all the persona and the fake stuff and everybody fronting and stunting in the world. It's like real
Right.
conversation, and you do feel like you help people, and the people that come in your life too, like they help me with the
Right.
things that they carry and what they express to me. Like it
Right.
it just yeah.
It's full circle. Definitely. Yeah, and you know what? I really think that it's just beautiful to like even just being able to like grow in friendships together, cuz like even and like you and I, like we've had disagreements and not always been right. You know what I mean? And we still have found ways to make it through that, which in turn strengthened our friendship, because now I know, if some worst case scenario things go bad and we talk about it. You know what I mean? And it's like rewiring those things for yourself within not just for yourself, but like in your brain, learning to rewire those pieces so that your first thought isn't chaos. Your first, you're not jumping into that thinking, because it also falls, in my opinion, into like the immediate gratification category of this person's making me feel some type of way and I want to feel better, so I'm going to explode on them and make them feel like a bigger piece of shit. You know what I mean? And then but like at the end of it all, I typically by the end of that feel like, man, that wasn't even worth it. So like learning
Mhm.
to emotionally regulate yourself and decide what's worth giving that energy to. And for me, it's not much. I just actually had a conversation with Hazley the other day because she's like, I only have 3 friends at school. And I'm like, bro, I've got 3 friends and I'm almost 30. So do
Mhm.
the math. You're doing better than I am. And I just told her, I'm like, you know what? It's better to have 2 or 3, good friends than a bunch. And that's something that I think societally is really being lost in generations, because we're raising kids on social media with all these filtered pictures. And even how you were speaking on having these genuine conversations, I feel like that's so treasured to people in this day and age, because so much of what we see is fake and we know it. We know it. But we don't know to what extent, because you also can't call someone out in this culture anymore without being, you know what I mean? And it's like, where does that leave our kids? You know what I mean? What world are we leaving our kids to be raised in right now? And
Well, and
that can,
that's a big thing of why I hate texting. And people really do feel entitled to your time. And here's the thing is, do not text me all day. I I might send memes, I might check in, hey, how you James, we're drinking some spritzer. But people do genuinely feel entitled to your time because everyone's like, oh, everybody has their phone. And that doesn't mean I'm going to sit here and have a conversation with you all day, every day. It doesn't. And if you think you're
no.
entitled to that type of time in my day, it's crazy. If you want to give me a phone call, hey, how you doing? How was your day? What'd you do? What was the positives? What was the highs, the lows? Cool. I'm so down for that. But texting, like, you can't tell nobody's character, tone, body
Mm-mm.
language, how they speak, what they speak. You know what I mean? Like, and
Mhm.
everybody has time to sit there and think what they're going to say. But like,
Mhm.
when you actually have somebody like, and even over the phone can be deceitful, you know?
Right. Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know, social media and texting and everything, everybody's so glued to, you see people on dates. It's like their second date and they're sitting on their phone at dinner. That's if somebody
That's
ever
such a
went
big
on a
red
date with
flag for
me
me.
and sat on their phone, I would never see them again. Like
No. No.
quality time is so important. If you're trying to get to know me, you would not sit on your phone,
Right.
No
Well,
way.
and two, like even just being able to be fully present in today's, so like even down to like dude, social media is so wicked, because there was a long time I've done a lot better. I've been on Facebook a lot less these last few months. Really, I think it's because I haven't had the time to be on it as much. But it's crazy. I'll go in my phone to like open up my calculator or my clock to set a timer or something, and I'll scroll just open it up and click to Facebook. And I'm like, this isn't where I was going. It's like we've trained our brains. Like it's literally
It's an addiction.
it
It's an
is. And they find ways to make it more addictive. And it's I don't know, it's a thin line we're walking, in my opinion.
Hear what you like. They listen to every conversation and everything that's on your For You page or social media. Anything that is popping up is your interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The first thing I do, I'm at fault for that too. Man, I'll scroll and lose hours in my day. Hours.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I get mad at myself because I'm like, put your phone down, dude.
That's why I don't have TikTok.
Down. Pay attention, like be present in your child. Like he's would do a puzzle with him, and I really do try to come put my phone on the charger and leave it in here, because if it's sitting next to me, damn well I'm gonna start scrolling. Even if we're playing cards, I'm gonna still, and it's like it's so frustrating because you don't even know how to break it, because it's just something that's attached to you now, In the morning when my alarm goes off, I set my alarm 30 minutes before I wake up so I can scroll on TikTok for 30 minutes.
But listen, I do the same thing. But it's because it wakes me up. Otherwise, if I don't have something like that to do or look at, I'll fall back asleep. Like I'll get real dry. Like I have to like get myself up and looking at a screen.
Yeah, but I mean, even what Tamber said, I'm like being mindful of that, and again, like changing that dynamic and listening to educational, motivational, like certain things. Like, yes, it's still social media, but instead of just scrolling on pointless things and like getting your mindset in different places is so big on how you start your day. Listening to positive feed, inspirational people. Just
I'm a big believer in a gratitude journal too. Like just waking up and writing down, like even if it's only 3 things. 3 is pretty easy though. I would honestly shoot for 5. Write down 5 things you're grateful for every morning. It just helps put your brain into a place that's like, I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm not that journally where I sit down and write, but I do. Even going to work in the bar, and I hear a lot of people this and that, and everybody has their struggles, but I do try to like turn it around and be positive. And I think some people get annoyed by it, but I'm like, but here's the thing is we've all been through really dark things and shit, and our past is who we are, like we are the reason we are who we are for the reason of the path that we walked down. But if you sit and dwell, because I used to be a very negative person, and I would sit there and dwell on this and focus on that. But once you start changing your mindset onto like, oh, well, think about if it was this, you know what I mean? Like the little things we don't even realize that we should be grateful for until you lose it. And like kind of turning that around on people also changes the whole game. Once you start like being positive for little things, like I don't want to mention anybody or throw anybody out there because I don't know if she would appreciate that, but somebody that's very close to me went through a very hard battle in her life, and it's been trauma after trauma after trauma, and at one point they're there and they didn't have no hot water, no car, no nothing to get to like normalization, get food, get like very basic things, They were so far out from town that they couldn't even walk to town without it being like way too hot, too cold, whatever. And it was just draining for them. And like just little things, or you look at people that are sitting on the streets in the Montana, the desert, anywhere.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
I mean, I've lived in a car through the winter in Montana before. And just last year, me and Sam moved back to Kalispell and ended up living in a camper through the whole winter in up to -50 weather. And that was not, I mean, we didn't plan for that. We didn't like, that wasn't supposed to happen like that. And it was crazy, dude. And like, that's where, dude, I'm telling you though, if you can switch your mind from thinking like, because it would have been really easy. And I'm not going to lie, there was definitely a period of time where me and Sam both felt like, why the F is this happening to us? Like what, why? Like it literally felt like we had done, like been on track, done all the right things we were supposed to be doing. I haven't had that little of means since I was using drugs. Like I haven't been unable to like get out of a situation. I've never been in a situation like that really, and so, but if you can switch your thinking from, why is this happening to me to what can I learn from this? And truly that experience, if it ever did anything for me, like I don't love the place we live in right now, but it's not the camper. You know what I mean? Or even when it's like, we were down to one car for a while in the camper too. It was like one thing after another. It was insane. But, and like, I'm thankful when I get up in the morning and I can just drive myself to work and not worry about if my husband needs the car to get the kid to school and like all the other things. Like it gives me this like grateful heart of like, because I believe that there's a lesson to be learned in every circumstance.
Oh yeah. And being able to be positive, but also keep that motivation, because when we're in places that we don't like, that doesn't mean we have to accept it, but we have to write it out. You know what I mean? Like I've been in many places in my life that I say, oh my gosh, why does this keep happening? Why is this and this and this? And it's like, bam, you think you're kind of getting up and then something else hits you. And then you're getting up and then something else hits you. And it's so easy to fall back of why is this happening? Poor me, poor this, poor that.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of
and you may be very valid in it. It very well may be poor you, but no one else is going to get poor you out of it.
Everybody goes through it. And I promise you that and that's what I think of too. There is so many more people, like I've gone through some shit, but I know that there's far worse that people have gone through. And you look at these people that are so inspirational that have gone through 40 times as much as what you've ever dealt with in your life, And I just think it's such a good, like, thing to keep you up, and to keep the positive and find the little tiny things. You might not feel great. You might not want to be in the position of life, but to find those little tiny positivities in your life that you are grateful for will change your whole mindset. It will. And it will impact your life more than you know if you keep that positive light in your life.
So Tamber June said, I can curate what I watch on YouTube. I try to have positivity, learning, and uplifting content that helps me not dysregulate and distracts me even more. I love that. Like so it's funny. I've noticed, and I don't know if it's just because like Sunday, is like church day or whatever, but when I wake up in the morning, if I get on Facebook Reels on Sunday, it's usually there's a few preachers with shorts, a bunch of shorts on Facebook that I really like, and they'll always pop up on Sunday. But the things that we watch and the things that we think on and put our minds on matter so much. Like even the week that we did the episode about Dee's story, like I feel like that was even just an emotionally crazy week for both of us too. It's because it's like even as healthy people, going back to that mind place, it can dysregulate you to where you need to kind of give yourself some self-love and self-care to get back to like your full potential. And there's nothing wrong with that, but do understand that. It's funny. My dad always explained it to me like this, and I've always kind of thought it was funny, but like dealing with like trauma and like those mental burdens, even as a healthy person, when you're going back to that place, it's almost like in the Disney movies when like the sorceress does a spell and then falls to the ground because they're so weak. It's just like that though. It's like it takes all this emotional energy from you that you have to then regain just through the things that fill your cup, whether that's watching the positive YouTube channels and, connecting with friends, going out for coffee and a drive by yourself in the morning. Like, you know what I mean? Just finding ways. But I love that. Sam did
too.
Yeah.
Seriously, because we could be uncomfortable just like going to the grocery store. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah.
Like in that mood, or you get like down, going to the gym, going to the grocery store, eating by yourself, um, going out and speaking to somebody that you found appealing, like just all of those types of things, like taking yourself out of your comfort zone and forcing yourself to do something, like it really does change your whole
Yeah.
week, because there's times where I get that after we had our big, well, the episode where I talked about some of my very personal stories and trauma, like all I wanted to do, I just felt heavy, dude. I just wanted to go
Mhm.
lay down. And I was like, hell no, we are not letting this type of thing, we've moved past it. You know what I mean? We chose to talk about it and like get up and go do something. I went to the park, I went to the store, I went to the gym, and I would like it changed my whole week, because if I
Mhm.
would have got down on that energy, I would have sat with it. You know what I mean? And I would
Right.
have ran.
Mhm. And then you never would have ran into that lovely little old lady in the store. That's my favorite part.
I know, that was beautiful. It really was.
Wait, I have to on a side note, I see we have some other people in here now. We've got Jelly Cats. Hello. Heather Rhodes made it. Thank you. James is here. Sam was in the chat. I did text him and update him that Brookies was
Did
what
you
he
tell them
needed to
what you want?
get.
Oh, what's
Yeah.
Brookies?
The brownie cookies, they just bake brownies right on top of cookies. But the ones from Albertsons,
Mm.
they've been doing this like sea salt on in the mid. Oh my god, I cannot. It's so good.
Oh,
But we
oh.
Sundays usually our family day, and we went bowling. And I got this sick picture of Sam today. I hope
Who won?
Sam did for sure. Look how cool he looks. Both feet are off the
Killing
ground.
it. Killing it.
He's really good at bowling. His mom like did a league or something. He's really good at bowling. Anyway,
He's all,
sorry, that was so off
let me
topic. I just
impress you, man.
right. Yeah. I don't know. I just think that I don't know. I've gotten to a point in my life where protecting my mental energy has become a top priority for me. Like I've learned to say no, not necessarily without guilt all the time. Another big thing I started practicing about 2 years ago is responding without explanations, because I really tend to over explain myself, especially when I feel bad. And I'm sure you can attest to this, D, because I will send like a 4-page message of
Oh,
why
yeah.
I feel like I should be sorry
This
for
is why I feel
something.
like this and
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And but also like if I apologize for something, there's no but, there's no and. It's I'm sorry for XYZ if I feel I need to apologize for that. You know what I mean? And it really has helped me get away from that mindset of people pleasing, and not in a rude way. Like I mean, obviously if my husband texts me, "Hey, where are you?" and I haven't been home in a long time, I'm going to, just tell him. I'm not gonna be like, "I'm not telling you." But
Yeah.
yeah.
But no, I still go through those motions, because I do like, I want to, even, I guess I'm going to go to like friendships. Like I want to show love and I want to like hang out when you want to hang out. But sometimes I just don't feel like it. I'm more of a homebody now, and I enjoy my home, and I enjoy my son, and I enjoy
I pay good
cleaning.
money
I
for this
enjoy
house.
cooking. Yeah, like I just want to chill, and the job that I have takes a lot of uh I have to be social, I have to appease other people and commute, and it's just a lot.
Mhm.
And even at the end of the day, like I got love for you and my friends, whatever. But if I don't want to go do something, I don't want to go do it. And when people, oh, just for an hour, no, I don't. I'm not leaving. And instead of saying, oh, well, I had a really busy week and my head's here and I don't feel like it because of this and that. No, I don't want to go out. I love you. Be safe. But I'm just really not in the mood to go out. That's enough. And if it's not enough
Yeah,
for you, you're not the right person to be in my life. Point blank
exactly.
period.
I'm so thankful we're over. I remember very distinctly this part of our lives, I guess, and even in our friendship when you and I had started talking about how like we had a lot of friends that would only hit us up to go to the bar after we had kids. And it was like that phase where it's like those people start falling off that aren't going to fall, that aren't going to like outgrow that scene. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That was rough because there's a lot of people that I really like cared about and I thought really cared about me and it got lonely for a while, you know, but you
Oh
have to
yeah,
set
and
those boundaries.
you really do learn who your friends are after that. Because I did like to go off and party and this and that, but the people that didn't want to sit with me in my home, and come check on me and this, if they only wanted me to come party and drink with them, like, and eventually just like cut me off because I didn't want to do those things, like you really do learn who actually has your back and what's
Oh
important
yeah,
in life, you know?
right. Cuz I like even just us living so far apart, I miss more than going out, more than you know, even like going to the zoo, all that stuff. Like I just miss the days where I would come over and we would clean and hang out and like blast music and you know, and then we'd bring the kids home and barbecue and play in the yard and you know, have a few glasses of wine. Like it's for me like that is 1000% something I'm going to show up to over you inviting me to go out to the bar because I want to spend I
Mhm.
don't have a lot of time in the day. It's better now because I don't work as many hours as I used to. But like, especially when Hazley was little, I've always been a really firm believer in like, you can't buy this time back. Like, this is the time I get to mold her mind and help her understand who she is in this world and her responsibilities to herself and others and all those really important, you know, things that shape a person and help them not have to like survive. Like, you know, I want to create a childhood she's not surviving, you know? And so I don't know, people fall out in the along the way, but it's so much more peaceful now too. Cause those friends are also the ones that call you at 3 a.m. because they're on the side of the road because their boyfriend and them got in a fight and they were all drinking and you know what I mean? And it's just like,
Because they keep putting themselves in those
yeah,
situations and they wonder why
yeah,
their life is chaotic. And it's like, holy shit, take a look at yourself. What are you doing? You are putting yourself in these positions, you know? And once you're done with doing that, because God, I did that for a very long time, you know, wonder why I'm here and why because I
yep,
put myself there. I went and
yep,
drank, I went to see my toxic ass, I went and got high, I went and did this, you know? And also,
right.
you guys not want to be financially smart because I'm not paying $15 for a goddamn drink. You want to come over and have a glass of
Yeah.
$22 box wine and sit by the fire? I'm cool with that. You
I feel like
know?
you can
I'm like,
attest to the fact that even in Montana where cheap drinks are cheap, I would still bring shooters in my purse to the bar.
oh yeah.
I'm going to Doc and Eddie's first.
When I went to the club one time and I saw how much drinks were. And then the next time, which I've lived in Vegas for three
Three,
years now,
3 years.
and I've been to the club maybe three times. Okay, maybe three times, maybe four. That's max four. And I take a little plastic flask and I fill it with alcohol and I stuff it in my skirt
Yeah, it's just like going to the
because
movies,
I'm
but for
I'm
adults.
gonna get a soda and then I'm a right in my drink because I'm not, dude. I watch people. I work at a bar where we were like after hours, okay, where people don't know when to go home. They're like, their cards are declining. They don't, and I'm like, dude, how do you even go out and not have the money to, and like not have, and then some? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you spending your last dime on sitting around with a bunch of people that don't give a shit about you, don't give a shit if you get in a car drunk as hell,
No,
like, genuinely don't care about your well-being, and you're
no.
spending every dime to be with these people,
Yeah.
That's a crazy mentality to me, dude. It's
Right.
crazy.
I just
It's
don't enjoy the
crazy.
bar scene anymore. I really don't. There's not a lot. I would much rather just go have dinner and like maybe a glass of wine or two and then go home and have a fire or something. You know what I just like the whole scene to me is just I don't the energy is crazy to me now. The people and even like you said the things that people are willing to say to one time I was at Daisy Dukes, which is this white trash bar
Yeah.
here, if you can't tell, by the name. And I was walking through and I had my wedding ring on and this guy, so it was kind of like shoulder to shoulder. So I was like in this line that was waiting to go out the door. And so I was stopped by these tables and this guy keeps looking at me and him and his friend are chuckling and his friend goes, oh, my friend thinks you're cute or something like that. And I was respectful. I was like, oh, I'm very happily married. You know, like I wasn't like, oh, F you, whatever. I was just like, oh, I'm very happily married. Thank you though. And he puts his hand out. He was like, me too. And I was like, I all went off. I'm like, you fucking disrespectful. You're lucky I don't know who your wife is. Like, I was mad. And I just like, what made you think that you were going to say that to me? And I was going to be like, oh, you're right. Oh my God, it's fine.
And you know what? It's so funny that you said that because me and the bartender that relieves me from my job, like I have so much respect for him and it's just mutual, you know what I mean? We have really great conversations. We talk about like real stuff in life and how we should be and our morals and how we should treat others and like I just love him so much and he was we kind of started talking about the being in the relationship and there's so many people that are like, oh, that's so controlling for you to not let your partner go out and this and that. Now you can go out, okay, but nothing good happens after 12. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I said 2 and he said no it's 12 and I said I could agree with that, you know, because it's true. If you see, I'm a bartender and I'm a bartender in a after hours bar, okay? I see married men, I see people in relationships and the way that people act and then they want to put because they're intoxicated because they're no you had every intent because if you're out that late and you have that disrespect towards your partner and you have no respect of going home and laying with your partner at night and making sure that you're home safe to your family, that's disrespectful. That's 1,000% disrespectful because I'm going to tell you right now, you could call me controlling or whatever, but if my partner ain't home by 2 a.m., you kiss my ass.
Yeah, and especially like I mean there's been I mean there's been maybe 1 or 2 occasions since Sam and I got together that you and I were probably out till 2. But the thing is like we were going out girls night. He knew even one night he came through and we were like, oh my God, we were all so excited, you know. Yeah, exactly. So I do definitely think like that there are situations, but I mean if my man is out that late all the time or every weekend or quite even honestly once a month even would be too, I would be like, what is like because that's it, that's pretty excessive in my opinion, like to be out that late drink because nothing good's gonna happen.
Go out and have a date night and that's what you enjoy to do and go party together, that's cool, but it is so disrespectful to leave your partner at home with the children and this and that and like you guys are a team, like you should want to be with your partner. And if you need a girls' night, that's cool. But like that also, I truly believe checking in. Hey, we're here. I miss you. I love you. Like that. I'm not gonna beg you to text me those things, but if you don't, that draws a red flag to me because you're not thinking of me. You got your eyes on everybody else, and that's not attractive to me. Like, even as a single woman going out to the bars, there's no way I'm looking here, and here because of how unattracted I become to men and women that go out and they just they're all over. If they get rejected here, they're on to this one, and then they're on to
Yeah.
this one, and then they're on to this one.
See,
And that is
even when,
so unappealing to me. As a single woman,
yeah,
I have never gone out and looked for a lay. I've never
no,
looked for a man at the bar. I am out with my girls, and that's it. And I don't even want to be
yeah,
out till 4 as a single woman. That's crazy.
no. And like, I just think that even when I'm out at the, like, if I do go out to the bar, I'll have respectful I've met some pretty cool people just like talking to them at a bar. And you know what's crazy? It's usually like tiny little dive bars in small towns around Billings, like the Blue Cat, or like, and you just find this like, and they're just cool. They sit and chat with you and whatever. And so sorry, I just heard yelling outside and it distracted me. But the second you start being disrespectful to me or my husband, I will not talk to you. I will not tolerate it. I won't even deal with you. I will walk away. Like I just have such firm boundaries in that, because I personally feel like if I were to even politely, because I was uncomfortable, if I were to play, I'd be like, oh, hey, thank you. That's disrespectful to my husband, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I will stand up for him in any situation, you know?
I don't want to go into details about the hustler story, but just to go off of what you just said, I was at one of the strip clubs here in Vegas with my partner, and I couldn't believe it, dude. Here's the thing is, if I was ever out and I had I have two things I want to talk about.
Yeah.
But I've had men like an ex just have a shit-eating grin on their face while a woman is hitting on them in front of me. Bro, I'm sorry, you ain't gotta call nobody you ain't got to be disrespectful, but you better check somebody and you better let anybody know that I'm your girl.
Yeah.
Because there was a man I was dating for a short period of time, and I was getting off work, so I went and had a drink with him. And one of my customers was overly intoxicated, and he's like, oh, do you need, and he was so friendly, you know, he didn't mean no harm. He wasn't trying to be sexual, but he's like, oh, do you need a ride? I'm like, who's giving me a ride? Because it's not you. I'm sober, you're not. Like, what are you talking about, you know? And he kept saying it. And I'm like, well, if anybody is going to take me home, it's him. Like, I'm not going to be rude about it, but I'm going to show you, like, this is my person. This is who I'm with. Like, you know what I mean? What?
Sorry, I just remember when I said, I'm like, I just heard yelling outside and it distracted me when I was talking about like how it's disrespectful to, you know, be out and whatever with your spouse. Sam said, or turn off your location. That's what I heard yelling for that's what he just said. John, I have suddenly become the FBI. If you're out and you turn off your location on me, like on a night like that, you're out till 2, I will find you. It's a toxic trait of mine.
Well, that's when I guess if you're married like that. But here's the thing is, dating, I just don't have the energy for it. If you're going to disrespect me, I'm good.
No.
Seriously, F off. I will block you so fast and you will never hear from me. I don't care about your apology. I don't care about nothing. I won't hear it. I won't.
Yeah.
But like, to not be like, this is my girl. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, like, this is not okay. And with that time when the guy was like persistent about this and that, I'm like, oh, well, this is who I would go with, you know? And I was like, okay, you need to stop. You're being kind of disrespectful. I wasn't rude about it. I didn't have to say mean things to him. And he was like, oh, my bad. I didn't realize, blah, blah, blah. He was overly intoxicated. But to be able to check somebody that is being disrespectful to your partner, if you can't do that basic thing, that's crazy. You are not my person. Yeah. You are not my person.
Well, and that's how I feel about it too. If you aren't even willing to, and it's like you said, I'm not going to beg you to do it, but I would especially like it if you at least let me know that you're all right. It's not about, because I don't know, I'm just at a point in my relationship now, and even when I was looking for a relationship where I'm not going to be with someone that I can't trust to go out. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like, I have to trust you on a deeper
All
level.
about
Like, I'm not trying to fix men out here no more. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I
Like,
gotta see you and your character, because seeing you, I feel like that's such knowing somebody um on a level of like you're not intimate with them yet, and like knowing them as a friend and how they are in public, and how they treat other people and how flirtatious they are. That's a big part for me to trust somebody. Like I want to have a friendship to know how you interact with people and how you speak to people before I ever like get intimate with you, because uh that's a huge part of my trust, dude. Like
mhm.
because as me, a single dude, I just don't go out looking for it. I don't.
No. Just curious said, I'm teaching my teenage daughter about red flags. She's dating and her sweet young guy is taking her for dinner and paying. And I'm like, yes, that's nice, but I'm watching like F. Yes, that's what we do. And we investigate. But no, that is fantastic. You know what? I'm a firm, listen, me and Dee have definitely talked about this in our podcast before, but coming from families where we were left in the dark about a lot, things weren't talked about. You know, even down to like, I don't really ever remember having talks about proper anatomy with my parents, or and I'm sure that they did, but it's a much bigger thing now, because back in the day people used to use cute nicknames for body parts, and I'm a firm believer in, you know, it's you know, the proper anatomy. And it's the same thing even to this day. I think I said it earlier. You know, Hazley was feeling a little bit upset the other day because she said she only had 3 friends at school. And I told her, I'm like, honey, that's how it's going to be when you grow up too. There's going to be lots of people, you know, that say that they're your friend, but when push comes to shove, they're not there for you, you know? So, you know, it's okay to only have a few friends. I was like, mommy only has 3 friends. But I think just teaching them those things age appropriately along the way is the best thing that you can do, because it's out there. It doesn't matter how much you want to protect your kids from the world and not let them ever be hurt or harmed or have their heart broken. You have to know that it's going to happen at some point, and teach them how to move through that, you know, because it's really hard. God, your first love. Oh my gosh. God, especially as a teenager, because you're like, this is forever. I remember people telling me, like, with my first boyfriend, they're like, you guys are not getting married. Like, this is just a little fling, you know? No, we are getting married. You know, and it didn't, we did break up. But in my defense, his parents had been together since like 7th grade. So I really believed in that.
Well, and then you see this love that, but it's just not realistic. Like there are I know somebody that has been together since like middle school, or they met then and then they got together in high school and they've been together ever since. But really, like, growing together and seeing who you are, and like there's just so much more, and to not be able to like see other people and see who your soulmate is instead of just like shackling down. But just being honest with your children is like so important, of like, and how to spot the things that we need to avoid and the toxic things that we need to avoid in other people, and the darkness and the intent of other people. Like, dude, there's things that are age appropriate and that are not. But once my son gets to that point, like, there's nothing that I will ever hide from my son. I want my son to know me through and through. Like, I want him to know the struggles I dealt with, who I dealt with, what type of people I dealt with, and show him what the real world is like, because I had no understanding of what the real world was like, because everything that was dark I normalized, and then when it kept getting darker and darker, I was like, oh, this is just, you know what I mean? Like, you fall into these patterns and these dark things, and nobody has ever told you about it. And I will never do that to my child. I will never let him walk the road that I walked, and being not like everything is the unknown. Do you know what I mean? Right.
Even as simple as like, when we go, Hazley had to get some teeth pulled when she was little. And I explained to her, I mean, exactly what was going to happen. The steps, they're going to put the mask on. You're going to smell the funny stuff. It's going to make you sleepy. Because otherwise, if you just try and hold her down and be like, this is happening, she's going to flip. She's going to flip. Anybody would. If some random person, you got brought into an office as an adult and some random person held you down and stuck a mask on your face, you would flip out too. You know, we have to understand that our children don't understand these socialized norms yet. We need to teach that to them. We need to teach them what to expect. And I think that especially like in the last few generations, parents started really relying on the schools for education and like thinking of that as like the full thing. Like they were getting everything they needed to know in life there. And it's not true. You know, because when my kid comes home, I'm going to be able to talk to her and help her understand, you know, why someone might have been mean to her at school that day, or why, you know, explore her feelings when, you know, the teacher's giving someone else more attention and she's feeling some type of way about it, instead of just being like, oh, whatever, you know, oh, those are small problems. Of course, I'm going to process that with her in hopes that when it's big problems, like a boy pressuring her to have sex or something like that, that she will come to me. I hope that if her friends are drinking and driving, and even if she's been drinking too and she doesn't want to get in that car, I want her to call me. Yep. I do not ever want my daughter to be afraid of my reaction, so she won't call me. You know what I mean? In any situation. I don't care what it is. I don't care if genuinely, if you're doing drugs with people, obviously I care about that, but call me. You know what I mean? Just never let there be.
There will be consequences and they need to know that. But your consequences for a week versus me getting a phone call that you're dead, or I have to bury my own child. Like, that's not a thing for me, you know? Like, I don't want them to ever fear the consequences, but you need to realize what's right and wrong. And if you do call me and say, hey, I was with friends, I didn't realize this was happening, but they all need a ride home, I'm
taking everyone home.
I'll take everybody home, but I promise you I'm not going to be the mom to hide anything from any other parent. I won't.
No.
Because I remember the parents that I grew up with that would buy me cigarettes or drugs or alcohol, and I look at them today and it's just so disgusting, dude. Like I actually had somebody reach out to me that was that parent when I was younger and was like, remember when I used to buy you cigarettes and this and that? And I'm like, as a mother now, that's absolutely disgusting, dude.
You're like, I actually resent you now that you bring it up.
So, because if I promise you, there's like hosts at the bar I work at, right? And like, there are some people that were older than me that will take them to the bars and buy them alcohol. And they might not be 16, 17, but they might be 18, you know what I mean? 17, 18 years old. I'm going to tell you, if you ever buy my child alcohol, or if you ever buy my child drugs, you will have a very
sorry. Yeah.
You will, because like, how do you have respect for an adult that does that type of stuff to young children in advocating for that type of behavior and in opening up a world of addiction and drunkenness, getting behind a wheel of a car, hurting people, being out of your fucking mind, where like, no, dude, hell no.
My house was the house where everybody came to drink and smoke and do all of that stuff growing up. And I literally remember times that the adults were making me drink and drive because they were too drunk to drive. And I was literally like, I'm too drunk, I can't do this. And she's like, you got this, you can do it. And I'm like, what? And looking back on that now,
I will.
I know. Looking back on that now, though, it's like I do resent them for that. And wait, I never did before. I thought it was fun. I thought I was having a good time. And as an adult and as a mother now, I do. And I will tell you, hands down, like when I say you'll regret ever doing that, I don't mean I'm going to come beat you up, because that's not going to change your behavior. I mean, I know the legal system inside and out pretty well. And anything I don't know, I can find out. You can ask Dee about that, and I'm sure she'll tell you. But I will turn you into CPS. I will call everybody that will listen to me. The governor will get a letter. We'll have a
Because
new
people need
bill
to
on drinking and
advocate for
driving.
our children. Dude, I'm so sick of watching people that don't advocate for the children. I don't give a shit if it's my child or if it's not. If it's not my child, I will advocate for that child. Whether you think that, oh, this is this and that. Well, you know what? It's better than them being in this toxic environment and you not giving a shit and they end up dead in a week. I'm not doing it.
Right.
I will not have that on my back. Like, absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Right.
I used to
I
have such
always
strong feelings for like when I was incarcerated, like the women that lost their children or did took them to trap houses, and I'm like, oh, it's just I don't anymore. I truly don't. I don't have the empathy for mothers or women that put their children through these type of things.
Mhm.
I I just don't, dude. It's disgusting to me to leave your kid in foster care and go about your life and not I'll never understand it. I'll never even like I cannot wrap my brain around it anymore. Do you know what I
I
mean?
have
As a
more
mother,
I have more respect because I know a lot of people will be like, how did someone just go drop their kid off at their parents' house and then go take off and get high? I have way more respect for those people. I really do. Because imagine how hard it would be to walk away from your kid. That's the pull that drugs have on people. They don't want to be doing it any more than you want to see it or hear about it. You know what I mean? But they made that responsible choice to know that they couldn't do it for themselves. I really
safe
like
space.
yeah, Tamber said, I learned from others' mistakes. CPS came to our house, but my mom got her meds fixed and we moved in with a family who could support us. And Tamber, that's exactly why I say the woman and mother I am today, I would call CPS. Because in the past, I was raised in a way to fear the system. I was raised to fear group homes, to fear they're going to have molesters. And they do. That's true. It is all true. But there's so many good people out there that want to help. There really is.
Mhm.
And that's why you just have to have faith in that system and that's why though you really have to weigh the options on if you are going to call CPS on somebody. I've only had to do it once in my life and I didn't want to and I made myself because I knew that if those kids continued the way that they were in that lifestyle, that they were either going to be SA'd, they were going to be unalived, something horrible was going to happen to them. And so I knew that that was the only choice that I had. And people, I think, should be less afraid of being able to make that choice because, especially when it comes to like those close friendships, if you have a close friend or a family member and you don't want them to get in trouble or XYZ. But at the end of the day, like, I think of it as kind of like a therapist, they're mandatory reporters. I feel like just as a human race, we're all mandatory reporters for children. If children are being hurt, neglected, abused, not loved or cared for properly, it is our job to stand up for those kids as adults in general.
Mhm. Okay, Tamber also said, I was raised to fear them as well because my mom had been through the system back in the day. Well, I did have a traumatic event, and I've also been through the system, and I've also thought that this dude foster care, if they're in the foster, it's just not good. There's kids coming from all types of homes and this and that, but at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, um I went through something that I never ever thought I would have to do as a mother. And it was a breeze because they saw who I was, what I was doing, that it was a giant mistake that had happened, and I had every person that is supposed to be against you advocate for me and truly believe in me. And and gave me every resource and everything that I needed. Um, it's even like the probation officer when everyone's like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh my God, if you are doing the right thing and they see that you're a good human, you're a good mother, you're a good parent, whatever, they will advocate for you. Nobody
I've
wants to
never had a crappy PO.
No, I mean, if I've had a crappy PO, it's because I had a shitty attitude and I was hiding something. Point blank, period. You know, and everybody's like, oh, they took this and that. Well, there's a reason. There's a reason, dude. There is. And I have heard some out of pocket things. Not every case is the same. I'm not saying that there's not people that are justified in saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But from personal experience, when you are a good mother and a good human, and people see for mistakes that have been made that have turned into a nightmare, simple mistakes, people will vouch for you 1,000%. If they know that you're a safe human, a safe mother, a safe parent, they ain't never gonna try to take your kid.
No,
They're just not.
even when I was young, I was maybe 15 or 16. 15. I don't know. I think I was 15. My mom had been sober for a few years. She wasn't drinking anymore. And she had started a new medication for anxiety, and it made her extremely suicidal. And she tried to unalive herself. And so we took her into the hospital, and she had to get her stomach pumped and drink the charcoal stuff and all the stuff. And CPS got involved because my mom was my only person here. I didn't have anybody else here to take me. And so CPS got involved, but I mean, we kind of got around it because I was already into a pill addiction at that time from pills that were prescribed, is kind of what kind of kickstarted all of that. And then I had a lot going on. So I actually ended up just going in for a 72-hour psych hold till I could get into treatment. And that kind of got us around it. But they just went and told our neighbors, like, hey, if you guys see anything crazy, let us know. And we never heard from them again. But it was like one of those things where it was just like, there was no other parent to help me. So that's the only reason they had to get involved. And when they realized that everything was in line, then they just backed right off. It's not like they're out there trying. And I have one of my, we'll just call her baby mama number 3, because that's what I call her. She had a horrible experience with CPS where her daughter had gotten hurt, and she took her into the hospital, and it was like a hairline fracture on her arm. And apparently hairline fractures on the arm are consistent with like abuse in kids. And so they literally like turned her into CPS. Her kids got taken, all this stuff. And she legitimately did nothing. The daughter had hurt her arm in the crib. And and her kids had to move out. Her son ended up in therapy afterwards because he didn't understand why he got, and she doesn't do drugs, she doesn't drink, except like nothing,
That's crazy.
So there definitely are, but that case, she got an attorney right away, fought it, got her kids back. That chick got fired right away. Like they handled it pretty accordingly, in my opinion. But there definitely are flaws to the system, but I do think at the end of the day, they can do more help than harm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So I also just wanted to ask, since we do have some people in the chat, also the Elder Scrolls Gamer Scrim Oblivion Morrowind. Can we just call him Scrim? Skyrim?
Yeah, Scrim.
Let's Skyrim. So supportive. Danny is the name. We appreciate everybody. Skyrim's been reaching out and saying some really beautiful things on our posts, and we just wanted to say that we appreciate you and appreciate everybody in the chat. But I did want to ask everybody, because me and Mariana have been going back and forth what we want to do with our Sundays, if we wanted to open up the chat to more so of how would you say it, Mariana, like mental health meetings or check-ins, like what would people like to see? Because Thursdays is definitely going to be more of our
interviews, topics,
certain topics, interviews, what we want to discuss. But we do want to open up a chat on Sundays, and hopefully one other day. We're not quite there yet with our scheduling, but we kind of want to get some opinions with the chat of what you guys would like to see, if you guys would like to personally interact.
Mhm.
Kind of those things. We're trying to fill out who we got here, and what,
Yes.
if you guys want to jump on and say things, or how, what you guys would like to see. Sorry on my son's thing. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Yeah,
Like,
I think
definitely a
even
gamer.
we'd kind of talked about even on Sundays making it more of a recovery based interactive episode where we just check in with everybody. It's going to rely a lot on the chat and conversations happening in the chat as well. But not just recovery as in like recovering from substance abuse, recovering from mental abuse, physical abuse, like just a
Loneliness,
wholesome,
mental health,
well-rounded.
our hard
Yes,
days. Like,
spirituality.
if we want to come up with a topic and just have people kind of jump on with us and share things, we just want to see where everybody's at with that, and what people would be comfortable with us doing, because we do want to kind of figure out a good consistent thing to do for Sundays.
Yeah, Tamber said that Sunday could be good because if you've had a long week. Exactly. That's kind of like, just a reset. We want to create a space where people can kind of reset, shake off that negative energy. We're here for the wins, we're here for the losses. We want to hear it all. We don't just want to talk about good. We also want to just be here to support everybody and get the chat going, because we know how much everybody loves to get together on the chat too.
Also, if John is still on here, I just want to tell John that I wore this shirt for him today.
All fun. That is so funny.
Love you, John. We love you, John.
That is so funny. He did say up there earlier, I don't know if you saw it, he was like, I'm in a group meet thing. He was like, but as soon as it's done, I'll come back to pick on D.
My response.
Yeah, but we just wanted to hop on with everybody. Oh, John, awesome. Yeah, we just wanted to hop on and check in with everybody. Just chat for a little bit and see how everyone's week's going. So I feel like you can expect Thursdays and Sundays are pretty consistent days right now, right, Dee, that we can commit to for the most part, unless it changes.
And we'll see you Thursday together in the same room, because me and Mariana will see each other Thursday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna do a podcast in person together on Thursday, so stay tuned for that. And you know what, guys, we're gonna try and be better about setting up a thumbnail sooner too, so that you guys are notified. Are we doing finger toes? Is that?
Are you gonna give me a foot hug?
Yeah.
On Thursday, like this?
Yeah. It can be our opening scene.
Yeah. Oh, we could charge for that, Mariana.
We could make it the thumbnail, the picture.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about how we met, but a lot of people ask that. So maybe we can go into a description of how we met, and maybe some of the trials and errors in our relationship.
Yes. I think that would be a really good, because you know what, you guys, I've learned more from my friendship with Dee than probably any other person. And that's because she's allowed me to. She's allowed me to make mistakes, and I'm just not the kind of person, like, if I really love you and I hurt you, I want to know why. I want to know what I did. Like, and truly, we didn't get as close until after our first real fight, or not. It wasn't even a fight. We'll get into it. But I've learned more from this friendship than any other. And I appreciate Dee in a way that she's really like a sister to me. She really is. Like, that's the kind of love I have for her. I don't care. Like, if you're mad, go in the other room. We're going to figure this out. Yeah. Like, I do not imagine a day. I've said this about friendships before and been wrong, so I'm afraid to say it, but I don't believe in superstition. So, but I don't foresee a day that we are ever not friends. I don't ever see a struggle we couldn't make it over, because I know our boundaries in our friendship now, and I know what lines won't be crossed on your side and what won't be crossed on mine, so I just don't see
through the trials that we've had in our friendships too. Like, it's made us closer too, because I do, there's things that we've hurt each other, you know what I mean?
Right.
And but at the end of the day, we also know that there's no ill intent behind anything that we do, and that we're human, and it's the things that have happened. I think it just creates a better understanding for who we are to each other, and knowing that we are good humans and that we do mean well in each other's lives, and it's never harmful. But at one point, we didn't know each other like we did. Do you know what I mean? We didn't know if one was gonna tell a white lie or a tall tale about this and that. We didn't know each other onto that level. But now that we do know each other on that level of, I could trust you with whatever,
anything.
You're one of the very few women. I could say probably 3 or 4 women in my life that I would trust around anybody to never ever say anything behind my back or betray me with my partner, with my child, with my family,
Yeah. Absolutely. Tamber said after a lot of years, you have to keep working to keep it together. I agree. It's like, even at this stage, I'm 20. We're both 29, right? Or are you a year older than me? Or we're going to be 29 this year.
I'll be 29 May 2nd.
Yeah. And I'm the 10th, and Sam's is the 6th. We're all within like almost a week of each other. I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know.
Oh, I totally forgot. It left, guys. It fell right out of my brain. It's that Sunday brain.
But man. I hope everyone has, and Renee just jumped into the chat too. Hello. But I do have to wrap this up. I'm traveling tomorrow. I have to get up and be in an Uber at 4 a.m. Again, we're so appreciative of the people that do show up for us. I'm excited to see you, Mariana. We get to see each other. I'm so excited. And it's been how long since we hugged and put our toes together?
Long time.
A long time.
A long time. At least 3 years. No, you've been back since then, but
at least a year and a half, at least. But
John says he doesn't know if he should be more scared of Angry D or Angry Casper.
I don't know.
Because he said he can't pick on me because Sam will punch him.
Yeah, I've seen Sam mad too. It's probably equally as bad.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm. I've seen Sam fucking check motherfuckers, and I'm like,
oh, and Danny's 53 on Friday. Happy birthday, Danny. Let's try and remember. We'll shout her out on Thursday.
Do you want me to make her birthday will be the next day. I'll make you a song, Danny.
Yeah, let's make her a birthday song.
But we hope everybody enjoys their week. We will see you Thursday. We will be together. Again, if you guys are on the Rewatch crew, drop your comments of what you would like to see Sunday. If there's any topics you guys want us to go over or open up to, we're very open to whatever or anything. But yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and we hope you have a great week, and we will see you on Thursday.
Oh, wait. Don't exit, though. Hold on. I got to do this real quick.
Oh, okay. No exiting yet.
Okay. Once I play our song, we can play that. Okay. But we love you guys.
Do we have an outro?
Have a fantastic week. Happy Sunday. Start your Monday positive. We do have an outro. I'm going to play the music and see if it works, but I do have to edit the video too. Okay. But yeah, everybody have a wonderful Monday. I hope your week starts out positive and beautiful and good energy and good vibes. And we will see you Thursday.
Bye.
Breaking all the chains, break it down. Addiction in the past, freedom in our veins. Ooh, incarceration days, now we got